so multi-step equations. This is going to combine polynomials, which we did last chapter, and all our algebra skills. So one thing about the polynomials.
Question, is there going to be multiple variables?
No, not for us.
Like each x is the same amount.
Okay, if you have 5x minus 2x, what does that equal? 3x. You just add, you combine the coefficients, right? This is what we did in polynomials last time, all right? What we're going to do now is we're going to have multiple variables of the same variable, but not different variables, okay? Different variables is higher level. So we want to simplify each side. That's one of the first things we want to do when we're doing these types of equations. All right. And then what do you call the operations that are the opposite? It had a fancy word. That's the order that you do them in. But if it's an opposite operation, does anybody remember what the word I used was? It started with an I. Igloo. Okay. Inverse operation, which is the opposite. Okay. Just means the opposite. And what's the whole point? What do I want to say? I'm gonna cross this bit out because I don't like that. We're gonna say use the distributive property to remove the brackets. So, who remembers what the distributive property is? It's from last chapter. You have something that looks like that. 2 times x plus 3. What does the 2 do?
It multiplies into the variable and the number.
Exactly. You multiply it into both. And you get 2x plus 6. Okay? For simplicity, we're just going to remove brackets. Okay? Every time we see them, get rid of the brackets. And then you're going to combine like terms. Distributive. IVE. You can't read that?
What is the one right beside it?
Oh. Oh, this word?
Yeah.
Oh, that's remove. How's that? There.
Why is like 3 words, 3 letters capitalized?
Where?
Middle of remove. Some are capitals.
No, those are all lowercase. You critiquing my writing?
Yes.
Okay.
And who used the period in the word?
Oh my gosh. There we go. Okay. All right. Okay. If you have variables on both sides of the equation, get all your variables to one side. Pick a side. It doesn't matter. All right? So remove all your variables to the same side. And if there's constants or just numbers, move them to the other side. It doesn't matter which side you move your variables or constants to. So I'll say left and right. And then use your inverse operations. Do you want me to just say opposite? To isolate the variable, which is the whole point of all of this. All right. Okay. First one, 6x minus 8 is equal to 4x. Do we have brackets? Let's start with that. Okay, so you don't have to remove any brackets. Do we have variables on either side? Or sorry, do we have like terms on either side? In other words, are these like terms, 6x and 8? No. What do you need for like terms? Same variable and exponent, and so they're not the same. Okay. So, do we have multiple variables in this equation? Yes. You need to get them all to one side.
Thanks.
Okay? So, question is, which side do you want to move the variables to? Let's start with that. The right side? Why the right side? That's what I would do, but you should have a reason for why you want to do it. You just picked right? Okay. If you move this x over here, because you want to get all your variables on one side and all your numbers on the other side. Okay? So if I move this over here, I've got all my numbers because -8 is still there, and then I've got all my variables on this side. Whereas if you move this to this side, what's still on this side? The number, or -8. So you'd have to move that to this side. Okay? So that would be 2 steps instead of just 1 step. Does that make sense? How do I get the 6x to the other side? Well, if I have 6 apples and I want to get rid of them, what do I do with them?
Throw it at your friend.
What would that essentially be?
Violence. Moving them.
What operation would that be? Subtraction. So, how do I get rid of the 6x? Minus 6x. It's the exact same. So 6x minus 6x is what? 0 x's. So they're gone. It is. So you're left with the -8 because you haven't done anything to that. Okay? Those are gone. What's 4x minus 6x? -2 what?
No x, because x minus x is. No what?
The x's, when you're combining like terms, the variable stays the same. It's just the coefficients.
Okay.
Okay? So 4 minus 6 is -2. Okay. Shh. What do I do now? Okay, guys, what do I do now? Divide by -2. Why am I dividing by -2? To isolate the x. What's -8 over -2? What should you do on every question? Check it. How do you check? Okay. So you have to put the 4 into every x that is in there. This is becoming more important now when the questions get more and more complex. So the 4 goes into every x. What's 6 times 4? Guys. 24. What's 4 times 4? Okay. What's 24 minus 8? Does 16 equal 16? So you did it right. Okay. All right, next one. (4x plus 2x minus 5 is equal to 25. On the left side, are there any like terms that you can combine? Or sorry, first of all, are there any brackets? Let's start with that. No brackets, so we don't deal with that. Okay. On the left side, are there like terms? What are they? 4x and 2x. What does it become?
6x2.
That just becomes 6x.
Wow.
Okay.
Put the 5x below the 5. No, put that -5.
Okay, so now we have no more like terms to combine. Then you use SAMDEB, right? How do I get rid of the -5? So you add 5. 6x is equal to 30. And then to get rid of the 6, you divide by 6. So x is equal to? All right. Next one. 4x minus 4 is equal to 4x. All right. What do we do? Are there brackets? So ask yourself, are there brackets? There's no brackets. Are there like terms on the left side? Is there any like terms there? Are there like terms on the right side?
Yeah.
The right side is this. There's no like terms. Okay, so now we need to get rid of or get all your x's to one side. What side do you want to move them to? The right side. Okay, so how do you get rid of this 4x here? You're going to subtract it because what sign is in front of that 4x? Is it, what do I want to say? Is it positive or negative 4x? It's positive, so you do the opposite. Minus 4x minus 4x. Okay. So what happens to the x's on the left side? 0. So I get negative 4. What happens to the x's on the right side? 0. Does negative 4 equal 0?
Yes.
Does it make any sense? No. So if your x's disappear, all right, if the x's all go away and you end up with something that like this, it does not make any sense, what that means is there is no solution. Why is this x gone?
It's just
4x minus 4x. No more x. Or 0 x's if you want to say. So if all your x's go away, there is no solution, or you can just say no answer. Okay?
Can you just not write anything?
No, you have to say no solution.
Do you have to write no solution or just n/a?
You can put NA. I'll be fine with that. Okay. What's that? This is number 4. Here we go. 6x minus 4 equals 2x plus 16. So, are there brackets?
No.
Are there like terms on the left side?
No.
Are there like terms on the right side? Okay, so now what do we need to do? Sort them. You got to pick a side to put all your x's on, and you got to pick a side to put all your numbers on. What side do you want the x's to go to?
X's left, numbers right.
Okay, x is left, numbers what? Right. So if we're going x is on the left side, I need to move this 2x to the left side. Is that 2x positive or negative?
Positive.
Okay, so how do I get rid of it?
-2x.
So you minus 2x. And what you do to one side, you have to do the other. Okay. What is 6x minus 2x?
4x.
There's a lot of 4x's in all these. This 4 has not changed, so it just stays there. And on the other side, now we're just left with 16. Are we good with that?
Yes.
Okay. Now what do I do?
4x.
You add this 4, right?
Yeah.
I need to get rid of this 4 or move it to the other side. So I get 4x is equal to 20. And what's the final step? Divide by? I'm queuing. X is equal to 5. Okay. 2 more, peoples.
The answer is 7.
Okay. 3 times x minus 5 is equal to 6. Are there brackets?
Yes.
What do we do to get rid of the brackets?
Distributive property.
Okay, so what does that mean?
We have to times the x and the -5 by 3.
Perfect. So what's 3 times x?
3x.
What's 3 times -5?
-15.
-15. Thank you. All right. Okay, what now?
Now we add 15
Why?
because
Because Sam did. But what's
Because it's a negative.
that's correct. But why do I want to get the 15 to the other side?
Because you want it out.
because segregation.
I would have used a different word, but yes. You want all your x's on one side and you want all your numbers on the other side.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm adding 15. So I'm left with 3x is equal to 21. I need the x there.
X equals 7.
Okay, Finn. What's the final step? Divide?
Body.
Divide by?
3.
Just 3, because you want the x by itself.
Correct. You'll get it someday.
X is equal to 7. Okay. Final one, peoples.
If you just leave the brackets there and then just solve it normally,
That work. What do you mean by normally?
like x minus 5, like you determine what x is, and like that way. Like, would you always?
What x is?
Because if x equals 7, x minus
But
5
you don't
equals
know
2.
that
Okay, yeah, that work. Like I said before,
Like, is it all
that
questions?
that's gonna work for simple ones.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You can't do it with decimals, right? You can't do it in your head. So you have to learn the process.
Okay.
And later on, you're gonna do it with functions and like, well, there's not really a lot of numbers. Okay, so that's why we're going through the process. Okay, last question. Are there brackets?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, what do you do?
Get rid of them.
How?
Distributed property.
Okay, do it.
Like terms.
Not yet, Magnus. Do the distributive property. Do it.
Okay, 6 times 1
Is what?
6 times 3 is 18.
18. Thank you.
There you go.
Okay. Are there like terms on the left side? Peoples.
You have to make them on the same side.
Okay, there's no like terms to combine, so you have to move your x's to one side and your variables to the other side.
Let's do it the other way. Let's put the x's on the right.
Okay, let's put the x's on the right. So that means I need to move this -6x. How am I going to move that?
You plus it. You plus 6x. Right, Finley?
All right, so I've added 6x. What's 18 plus 6?
12 minus. Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about the
What?
minus 18.
18 plus 6.
24.
So I get 24x. Okay? So I've got the x's on the right side. What do I do now?
Can I get rid of that 6 on the other side?
How do I do that?
Minus 6.
Minus 6. What's -18 minus 6?
24 minus.
And then what's the final step?
Divide. You divide.
To get,
20. It's 1. 0.5.
it's -1.
How do you get 0.5?
Oh, wait. Oh, I forgot to make this.
Okay?
Dumb.
What's the first thing you do when you get the equation? What do you ask yourself? Are there brackets? After you get rid of the brackets, if they are there, what do you do? Collect your like terms on either side. Once you've collected your like terms, what do you do?
Add or minus.
Pick a side to move your variables to, your x's, and pick a side to move your numbers to by doing addition, subtraction, and then you solve. Okay?
Lego.
Other side of the sheet, please.
Basically, it's numbers. get one. You just can't, buddy. What? Well, even like